Since May of this year, Even Longer has been the only app capable of capturing raw long exposures. But now,
there is another.
So I got an email the other day from a computer vision engineer called Sumad Burawal, and I take my time with that pronunciation for good reason. And Sumad is clearly a very smart guy, not only because he's a computer vision engineer, but because he's been following my channel since it was called Pisikumau. I like it. And he let me know that he's been developing, or he has developed, a new long exposure app for iPhone that is capable of capturing raw long exposures, just like Even Longer. And in Sumat's opinion, it can also do handheld better than Spectre. And you can do interpolated light trails. Interpolation, if you're not sure, it's like, think of it as like duplicating frames or filling in the gaps, if you like. But I'll go into that a bit later when it's darker. And I've literally not used it yet. This video isn't titled, NeuroShot. The app's called NeuroShot, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So the app's called NeuroShot. Well, this video isn't titled, NeuroShot review, because it's not a review. I haven't used the app properly. I played around with it. I messed around with it for a few minutes. And I thought, let's take the people along with me on my first journey within the app. This is what happens when I don't script myself, by the way. This is the sort of quality that you get. I forget to tell you the name of the app, and I say things like embark upon a journey into the app. So anyway, I'm going to jump into NeuroShot. I'm going to actually see, before I give it a full review, if it is even review worthy. Do these claims, why is Gamora? Do these claims actually, can it do what Sumat is saying, basically? Jeez, that's what I'm trying to say. So let's jump into NeuroShot. So here we are in the NeuroShot, and it's quite a complex app from what I can see. Lots of icons and things that I don't know what they do fully. And there's different modes, but the one I'm interested in today is long exposure. So tap on that. And apparently you can capture a long exposure for longer than 24 hours. Now, I'm not sure how successful that would be. With like it turning from day to night and night to day and stuff. The only place you could really do it is like Norway or Finland, because it doesn't go dark there at certain times of the year for like 2.5 months. So let's actually not capture for 24 hours. Let's go for 3 minutes. That should give us the water, maybe a bit of cloud movement. And I want to check I'm in RAW. And from what I've seen, I go up here. And then I go not to here, I don't go there, I go here, and then I get rid of that, and then I scroll to, here we go, long exposure, raw. So I've got video, photo, and raw, and I can also save intermediates as well, which is cool. So let's see if that works. Just turn that on. Enhance light trails, not yet. Sunshine, thank you very much. And if I jump in here, I can actually learn what some of those things do. So this will probably be for the handheld thing, but it doesn't actually explicitly say, from what I can see, where the handheld thing is. But tripod mode I want. I'm on a tripod, so I will turn tripod mode on. There we go. Cool, right. So this is, you've seen these before. You've got a grid, timer, a histogram, an RGB histogram, no less, and oh yeah, we've been in there. Okay, so I think that's it. We've got some manual settings here as well. ISO is as low as it'll go, which is good. Shutter speed is apparently at 0. Oh, okay, yeah, let's keep it at 0. Oh, maybe not, actually. Okay, I messed it up. Let's go back to auto. Can we reset the exposure? Okay, the shutter is now over here. It's not where I left it. And now the focus is gone. Oh no, am I in focus? And now I'm in shutter. Thumbs up. Should I not ever do this ever again? This is what happens with a review. Should I just restart the app or take it out of long exposure mode? Let's go in manual mode. or HDR mode. Please just fix this. Okay. Right. This is a real raw trip. This is the first time in the app with me. So 3 minutes and 5 seconds, and we're in long exposure mode. We're going to leave it in auto this time. Just check the ISOs as low as it'll go. Right, thank you very much. And I'm just going to focus and hit the shutter with a timer. And it captured for 1 second. I don't think that was supposed to happen. It's frozen. The app seems to have frozen. Or is it capturing? I don't know what's happening. Am I supposed to not touch it? Right, I've restarted it. Try again. Let's just go for 1 minute. Nice and easy. 1 minute. Not going to mess around with any settings or anything like that, because that was apparently too much for it. Ah, okay, now it's counting down and the exposure is building. So the water's smoothening. The clouds are obviously moving too slowly to see that at the moment. But the water looks good. The still elements are staying still. The little shrubbery is moving. There's a bit of what I love about doing these long exposures is when certain trees are still and certain trees are moving, and they just look so cool. Some people don't like it, but I think it looks really cool. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, nope, you do not get access to my photos. Let's have a look at that. That looks all right. If this is, no, that's a JPEG. That's a JPEG. Will it? Can I see a RAW file? I chose RAW, right? Before I had to restart it. I don't have. Let me go back in. And that's general. RAW, yeah. Look, it's in RAW. But it gave me. Alright, let's turn intermediates off. It gave me a JPEG. Let's try again. Let's go a little bit longer this time. Let's ease into it. Let's go for 3 minutes. Try and get some of that cloud movement. Okay, just tap to focus and go. Okay, this looks more like a RAW file now. This looks bad, which means it's a RAW file. I'm hoping. Okay, so it didn't give me a RAW file before, but it looks like it's going to give me one now. And it's counting down, which I like, and I can see my exposure building, which I like. If this is actually going to deliver a RAW file to me, then this could be a pretty special app. Cool, so that's done. Let's have a look what's going on. So this time, it's giving me a hike, but I can see I get processed and raw to choose from. So the processed file just looks like a still hike, but this raw file actually looks like a raw long exposure. And you can see in this corner here in the top right, that's me, because during the exposure, during the capture, I actually got up to check my camera was recording okay. So you can see me fading away in the corner there. So that's an early test for making people disappear, I suppose. Yeah, usually I would cut that and try again, but I'm not going to. But this looks, on the surface, it looks good. What I'll do is I'll take the same photo with Even Longer and see what the difference is. So that was, what was it? 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. So let's go in Even Longer and let's capture the same thing. So these look very comparable. I don't think you could tell them apart if I didn't have the labels. And the biggest difference between these photos is the user experience. It took me 3 attempts to get there with NeuroShot, whereas Even Longer did it in 1. In my next photos though, you can definitely see some differences. And I'm going to be doing the rest of the video in retrospect because we're already almost 10 minutes in and I was there a while. So if I was to keep doing this in real time, yeah, you'd be here for quite a long time. So here, NeuroShot produced a RAW file on the first try, but look at the difference in the water. Even Longer's is far smoother, and I'm guessing this is caused by a low frame rate, because in this screen recording you can see what appears to be a frame rate of just 1 frame per second. Now, I could be completely wrong about this. I'm not an app developer whatsoever by any stretch of the imagination. I'm literally just going off what I can see in the video, and you can see it again here and here, which is fine for slow-moving clouds and continuously flowing water, but things that are more random and chaotic, like the bubbles, not so much. Now let's move on to the other 2 claims, which are Handheld and light trails. With Handheld, you can't do it in RAW. You have to switch over to video, and then you tap this target looking thing here to enable handheld mode. Now, it's not called handheld mode anywhere. I had to figure out that this was the way you were supposed to do it. And once it's enabled, you literally can't move. If you do, you get this sort of window looking thing happening. And if you move too much, then handheld mode is disabled. Again, not a great user experience, but it can work. This is a 5-second handheld capture, and so is this, and this, and this. Impressive stuff, but the window thing often makes an appearance in the final photo as well. It seems to happen if you aren't stable enough during capture, and in fairness, for the first time ever, I also saw the window from Spectre. But whereas Spectre did it once and never again, NeuroShot did it almost every time. So what about light trails? Well, I really hate that this seems to be turning into a let's dump on NeuroShot video, because Sumat seems to be a really nice guy, but the light trails don't work. These are the results I got with interpolation turned on, and this is what I imagine time travel looks like. And this is the best I got with interpolation turned off. So a bit better, but still not that smooth river of light that I was expecting. And in comparison, this is even longer. So I originally had this big conclusion planned where I recapped everything and went over it all again, and you don't need that. You've already seen where NeuroShot is up to, you know, what it can do and things like that. But Sumat did ask me for feedback, so I will say this. I think you have the making of a really special app here. Like, we've all just seen it can deliver results, it can work. But I think you're trying to do too much, and by doing that you're compromising and not fully delivering on what your customers actually want. For example, I love how you can see the raw capture building over time, and it makes you look like a frigging genius, dude. Seriously. But it's clearly like detrimental to the user experience and the results, because it just draws too much power and resources from the phone. Plus, after about 10 seconds, I've stopped watching anyway. I've gone off into my own world with a podcast or whatever, and I'm just waiting for my capture to finish, and I'm willing to bet that other people are the same way. So if I was you, I'd really think about like my core audience. I'd really focus on them, and I'd ask myself who they are, like what do they ultimately want, and then focus, optimize, simplify, and don't be afraid to kill your babies. It sounds really morbid, like killing your babies, but don't worry, it's not anything nefarious. It's just a term that means to cut out something that you love, that you personally love, but it doesn't ultimately serve the final goal. That's all it means. But having said all of that, NeuroShot is currently just £4.99 in the App Store, whereas Even Longer is significantly more than that. Now, for me, it's worth significantly more, but for those of you who are complaining about Even Longer's price, well, here you go. This is for you. Enjoy. You get what you pay for. And that's it. If you are curious about how these videos are made, then click the join button below this video to get access to membership and behind the scenes. I'm just showing you, giving you a little bit of an idea now. So yeah, click join below the video. You can see behind the scenes, bloopers, early access, all that good stuff. But if you don't want to do that, you can comment, like, all that good stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay curious,
peckar runt. Sí. Az buena, sí peckar runt.
Really? That's a plane.